Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another live. Hello, my name is Laken, and I go live every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern to answer any questions you have about goals, planning, life, whatever you need a pep talk about or some help, insight, whatever it is that you need. I love this time together where we just get to hang out and get to know each other a little bit better. So let's kick it off with our first question. Oops, I clicked the wrong button. Which is, what are you drinking? This is called Lattes with Laken because it started during my lunchtime. Now it is still it went back to being in my lunchtime, but I actually have a cup of tea with me today in my little elephant mug from Thailand, which I love. Although it's not, and I don't know if it's just because it's like not super high quality. I mean, it's beautiful. It was like clearly hand painted, but it's really hot. Like the actual mug itself, I can't hold the actual mug. And then the handle is the trunk and it's kind of hard. So while the tea is still really hot, it's actually really hard for me to like hold and be cute. So probably not the best live mug for me to use, but it's still super cute. Okay, what do we have? Water, iced coffee, water, coffee, water, root beer, Diet Coke. So many yummy things. I know I thought about getting a second cup of coffee, but I don't have any plans tonight, so I kind of just want to go to bed early. So I decided on tea, decided not to have another I was trying to say round of caffeine, and then I was trying to say multiple things at one time. Water, Diet Dr. Pepper, so many yummy things. And then our second question that I always like to start with as well is, what is one small win that you want to share from the last week? So if you are here live, I would love for you to share it in the chat. What is your one small win from the last week? And if you are catching the replay, if you're part of the replay fam, let us know down in the comments what you're drinking while you're watching, and then what is your win from the week as well. I know that I always end up getting asked mine as well. I did the pantry and fridge and freezer inventory. If you watch my goals video that went up on Monday, I talked a little bit more about those. That I wanted to do some inventory in order to just be more effective with the food that we have left in our apartment before we move. And I went ahead and did that. Joanne, I love this. Lattes with Lake in here again to remind me to drink something. I feel that. I hit 300 subscribers on YouTube. Amy, congrats. I hit my weekly step goal for the first time in 2023. Congrats. Just a reminder, just because you hit it doesn't mean you have to increase it, right? Like you could keep aiming for that same weekly step goal until you feel ready to increase it, if you ever feel ready to increase it. Had 5 to 7 cups of water every day. Becca, that is amazing. Got your Etsy store up and running. Linda, congratulations. Made an appointment to start physical therapy. Debbie, I hope you're so proud of that. Physical therapy is literally life-changing. Like if it was more covered by insurance, and some insurance, I think it is more than others, I would go all the time. I feel like every week I have something that I would benefit from physical therapy. Consistent workouts and a venue booked and date set for your wedding. So exciting. Successfully moved into your new house in the middle of an ice storm. Oh my goodness, Katie. That is not the ideal week to move. I know. Whenever we told someone the time of year we were moving, they were like, wow, that's really brave to be moving like in February. And I'm like, well, we don't have a choice. Like our lease in New York is up March 1st. So like that's the date that we're moving. And I am just fingers crossed for all of the good weather that week that we're trying to move. Survived a wild work week. That is definitely a win. Getting at least 6 hours of sleep, 5 out of 7 days. That's amazing. Amanda, thank you for being my guinea pig. If your YouTube name is not your name that you prefer to go by, I would love for you to include your name in the comment so that I can refer by your name. I went for a walk with my son this week. I love that one. Decluttered a drawer, cleared off a desk, started working on taxes. I feel that, Aubrey. Seeds for your garden. Oh my gosh, I love that. Made 3 calls follow-ups. Tammy, that is impressive. Like, especially for somebody like me who does not like being on the phone. Cleaned out my Hatch trunk, sports mom, drank a whole bottle of water. Diana, so proud of you. Got a good start on your research article. 10 days into not drinking any soda. Melissa, that's amazing. That is amazing. I hope you are so proud of that. That is definitely one of those habits that could be really, really tough to quit if it's something that's important to you, quitting. And I think I've mentioned this before a couple of times. If there's something like that, now the exception here is smoking, and I am no expert on how to quit smoking. But with the exception of that, some of these other things like quitting diet soda, or if you're trying to cut back on coffee or whatever it is, trying to go from like, or not even trying to go, but saying that you want to go to 0 is a great goal if that's important to you, but it's not necessary. You could say like, I want one per month or one per week or something that is less than what you're doing now, but it doesn't have to be all the way down to zero. Focus on that more, that better, or less, as opposed to like the all or nothing mentality. Okay, I think I captured all the wins. I love hearing all your wins. Thank you to Jennifer for getting us started with those, for giving the idea to use that on the lives. I don't know why. I literally start every coaching call with a win, so I don't know why it never crossed my mind to do it as part of the lives. Like, just so silly. Speaking of, before we jump into questions, I do want to give a quick update. If you watched the goals video for Monday, you probably already heard this. I also briefly talked about it on Instagram yesterday. Not talked about it, but included it in a post. But the community, the Goals with Laken community, is moving from Patreon to Teachable. And I'm not going to go into a ton of detail here on like all of the reasons why. But I am already so loving the setup in Teachable. Like, I love how organized all the content is. I love that I'm going to be able to have all of the things that I offer in one place. There's just a lot of great benefits to Teachable that I'm excited to utilize that Patreon either didn't offer or just started offering and hasn't quite figured out yet. And it's going to be really, really beneficial for a lot of us. So I'm really excited about that. And I see your question. I'll jump over to Viv's question and then I'll come back to finish talking about this. Can you explain how Teachable works when you move to that platform? It looked like I signed up and it looked like a platform to me to set up a teaching course, which I have no intention of doing. So your profile is like, can do both things. Like your account, your free account within Teachable, you could either make courses or you can sign up for them. It's like one and the same. So like when I log in, I can not only see my course that I have set up, but I can also see all the ones that I've signed up for, which I have like 3 or 4 different courses I've signed up for over the course of my life that are like live within Teachable, and I can see them all in one place. Again, another beautiful thing. So if it looks like that to you, don't worry. Like, you're not going to be doing that when you, and you don't even have to have an account yet, by the way. For those of you that are concerned about it, you don't even have to have an account yet. You can wait until you actually sign up to join, and you can create an account when you sign up. The account itself is free. It's not like, I had somebody ask this, it's not like, what is that platform where you like pay a monthly fee and then you also either get free courses or you can pay for more courses? Like, it's not like that. It is like a complete, for you, your account is totally free. And then you would just pay to be a member of the Goals with Laken community. By the way, if you are a current member, you received an email last week that has a video explaining a lot of details that apply to current members only. So make sure you check that out. If you didn't receive that or you can't find it, shoot me a message and I will get you another copy of that email. It also comes with a video with a lot of explanations of things, and the videos differ depending on what tier you're at and if you're an annual member. So just make sure you, like, they differ for everybody. I can't just like post the link in Patreon because all of your links are different. I had to send it multiple times. Thank you, Amanda. Skillshare is the one that you pay for an account. Yeah, it's not like that. The other thing, which if you clicked on the Teachable link, which was in the video for Monday, it's in the video from today, you would have already seen this. Again, I explained this to current members already, but now there's only going to be one option. So when I had Patreon, there were 3 different options that you could be $5, $10, or $30. For Teachable, we're just going to do one straight across the board. I'm really, really excited about this because I'm really focused on the whole experience being so much more cohesive, and all of the content across the weekly coaching calls, the Facebook group, and the text messages to all be very consistent with what we're talking about, what are the messages, what are we working on together, etc. And I'm just really excited about it. So the big difference is that we are going to have a focus weekly call. I said this in the Patreon video, we were kind of doing a weekly call before. I tried to make it line up that way because we were doing 2 silent co-workings, a Q&A, and a goal session. And I wasn't, I tried to make them as spread out, like one per week as possible. But now I'm going to be really focused on them being exactly one per week. They're going to be there's still going to be pieces of those other calls. I feel like I'm not doing a good job of explaining this and bouncing all over the place. The current types of calls will still exist. There will still be Q&As, there will still be goal setting sessions, and there will still be some sort of silent co-working. I'm changing the name of them. But we're introducing a new type, which is called hot seat coaching. And then sometimes there will be like just an actual teaching topic sprinkled out. It will kind of depend on how the weeks fall, like how the days, and if there's 5 or 4 or however it ends up falling. So that is all the details. Again, the link is down below. Current members, check out the email for more information for things that specifically apply to you. I also am sending out an FAQ next week with some of the frequent questions that I've been getting from you. So keep an eye out for that as well. But if you have any other questions, feel free to drop them here. Feel free to send me a message, all of that jazz. Debbie, I understand the $20 fee and moving to Teachable is free. Do we have to pay extra for your content? The $20 is my what you're paying for my content. Teachable itself is free. And then within Teachable, each course creator gets to decide what they're creating and how much they're charging for it. So Teachable is free. The $20 is it's just like Patreon, except instead of Patreon, it's Teachable. But it's exactly the same, where it's $20 a month every month. Our past trainings, et cetera, moving over. Yes. So right now, all I have so far is January and December. I really wanted to prioritize getting those December goal setting sessions up because I know there's a lot of people that still haven't done them. I am going to work on getting everything else moved over. It's going to take some time for sure to do that, like especially all the ones that are on YouTube. So those were easier because they were actually the Zoom recordings were all still on my computer, so I could just upload them. Past December, it's not there. So I have to download them from either Patreon or YouTube and then re-upload them into Teachable. I am doing it. I am working on it, but it will take a little bit of time to get all those past Q&As and goal setting sessions up. But for now, January, and then obviously, February is there. And then December is up, all of the calls from December. That's another question that I got on Instagram yesterday. For February, if you're a current member, you do not need to do anything. Everything will still look the same for you for February. All of the uploads will look the same. If you are interested in joining, you cannot join via Patreon. You can only join via Teachable, but you can join. All the Zoom links are already up there. All the replays will be there. You can join via Teachable right now if you are joining for the first time. Sorry, I got distracted by the spam message. Okay. Oh, I just said a lot there. My tea is still really hot, so I'm going to take a sip of water instead. Any other questions about the move, the new setup? I'm super excited about it, y'all. Super excited. Jennifer, is there sales tax on the monthly fee? That's a great question that I don't know the answer to. It might vary by state. Like it might be if you're in New York, you might because I'm in New York, although that might be changing. TBD on that. By the way, moving an LLC is literally the worst thing in the whole wide world. Actually, it's impossible for the states I'm moving from and to. Moving an LLC is actually impossible. I have to close down my business and reopen my business in another state, or I have to file as like I forget what the phrase is. Is there an annual fee option? Not right now. We're not going to have an annual fee option Teachable for a number of reasons, but never say never. Should you've already gotten the email? Yes, Amanda, you definitely should have gotten an email last week. Thursday is the day I sent them all out. So if you didn't get it, let me know. And I can make sure that you get the right one. Oh, we pay tax on Patreon, so you should still pay taxes. Okay. Thanks, Amy. I don't see that on my end. So that's why I didn't know the answer to that. So I guess, but that would make sense. Which is interesting because I could have sworn on teach, like that kind of stuff, you don't have to pay sales tax, like coaching services. I need to check with my tax accountant on that maybe. Melissa, mine wound up in my spam folder, so check there. Yeah, because it came like directly from me, again, because I had to send different ones depending on what tier you were and whether or not you were annual. It came directly from my email, so it might have ended up in your spam folder. Yeah. Any other questions? Appreciate. The freaking most important part, which I didn't make a little banner for. Oh my gosh, y'all, the most important part, to say thank you for moving with me and for going through all these growing pains. And all that, like all of that. I am gifting every member in March a beta copy of the Q2 version of my goal planner, like to say thank you for dealing with this and all that, all of it. And I'm excited for your feedback as well as like we keep developing that together. So keep an eye out for that. It will be uploaded into Teachable on March 1st. I said that out loud and realized I'm actually moving that day. So it'll probably be uploaded a little bit earlier, but when you move on March 1st, you'll see it and you can download it. That's like the biggest, yeah. I like meant to, that's like a big, I'm really excited to share that with you and to say thank you for going through all of this. Interesting, Kim. I don't see sales tax. I'm in Jersey. Yeah, it probably does differ by state to some extent. I have no idea. Is your current apartment already on the market? Yeah, it is. I think so. We've gotten emails from like, from brokers asking to show it. And then we like give them our availability and they never follow up. So like nobody's actually come to look at it yet. So I don't know what's going on. Okay, questions about texting. First off, I'll come back to yours, Jennifer. Unfortunately, no, texting is still only available in the US, Puerto Rico, and Canada. So that is super, super, like it's a super bummer. And I definitely like looked into other options and considered it. But for right now, I'm sticking with the same service. And it is unfortunately only available in those places. But the question from Jennifer, how the texting works. So there's kind of two pieces to it. Well, there's really three. Piece number one is that I send out a daily text. And right now the daily texts are kind of, there's some thought that goes into them, but I will be totally honest when I say that I pick kind of what I'm feeling that month. And a lot of the texts kind of reflect that. And it's anywhere from like a reminder, a question, a tip, a inspirational quote, like all kinds of random things like that. That will still happen. There will still be a daily text that goes out, but it is going to be so much more thoughtful and curated that goes with all of the other stuff that we will be talking about over the course of the month. Part number two is that you just have more direct access to me, that you could ask questions whenever you have questions. Do you need help breaking down a goal? Do you need a pep talk? Do you have a specific question like about a specific goal? You know, Shani's been asking me a lot about wedding planning stuff since I just got done doing that. It varies by person on what types of questions and also how frequently the questions are getting asked. And then number three is that I can schedule out specific texts to go out to any individual person at whatever time, day, frequency that works for you. So right now, yesterday, I just scheduled a bunch of them. One person wanted a reminder at a certain time to not snack in the evenings. One person wanted to check in the evenings to write her daily activity log. And one person wanted to check in on, did I finish my cup of water, hit my water goal for the day? So I scheduled those for those specific people to go out in the evenings. And you get like that follow-up text from me. Adds that extra layer of accountability. So those are kind of the features of the texting feature. That's maybe sounded weird. Ooh, this is a good question. Not related, although kind of related. What advice would you suggest to someone who's going to start an Instagram with the idea of starting a business in 2023? So two things that like I wish I had done differently. I say that, but like I've also said this before. I wouldn't change anything about the way my life or my business or any of that stuff has gone. Number one, though, is know who you're talking to. You don't even have to necessarily know exactly what your business is going to be, what your offer is going to be, what your like model is going to be, but knowing who you're talking to is really, really important. And being okay with that being more specific than you want it to be. I used to resist a lot the idea of picking this like ideal person because I was afraid that if I only talked to that ideal person, that I wouldn't have, like, I wouldn't, I would lose out on opportunities. And while that is true, it is also so much more successful for you to talk to that type, like that specific person that you are trying to eventually market to. And right now, you're probably just getting to know them, but eventually you're going to want to sell something, being specific about what that person looks like, and not all of these like if you Google like ideal client, like avatar, you'll find some ideas, but really like more like in depth than that. Like, what do they like? What do they struggle with? What's important to them? What does their day look like? Those kinds of things, and getting really clear on who that person is. Likely that person is probably very similar to you. It is very rare that the person you're talking to is that different from your own experiences, but it might be like a slightly younger, slightly older version of you, but just keeping that in mind. The other thing is being consistent, but not pressuring yourself to do it every single day. You'll see a lot of Instagram gurus talk about like doing something like you got to post every day or you're not going to be successful. Instagram changes every 5 seconds. The algorithm changes every 5 seconds. It is important that you be consistent, but not worrying about like, I've got to do this certain thing every single day. I have tried so many times to do I'm going to talk about this on Mondays and this on Tuesdays and this on Wednesdays and so on and so forth. And that never worked for me. What I'm much more successful at now is I have a handful of posts and a handful of reels pre-scheduled, not scheduled, pre-created at the beginning of the month, and approximate days that I'm going to post them. But then sometimes it changes. I post personal stuff. I sprinkle random things in there, and I don't worry about it being like exact on exact days, but I try to be relatively consistent. So there's a lot of information out there about like, this is the best practice on Instagram. And some of it I think can be really helpful, but it can also be overwhelming. Focus more on like a little bit here and there, sprinkling in whatever kinds of topics you're going to be talking about that pulls in that ideal person, along with some personal stuff. If you're willing to open up, people like to know the person behind the screen and like get to know them as well, and have little things that you can relate to on like the number of people that we like click because we're cat people, Disney, etc., Broadway. Oh, Loretta, any tips for not losing your mind at the start of wedding planning? Currently have a provisional date guest list, but trying to figure out venues is proving really hard. Okay, a couple of things. At the beginning, it was really fun and I was really excited. I definitely didn't feel, I don't know that I'm the best person to advise on not losing my mind, because I didn't ever feel like that was the situation. I did it in a very particular order. So step one was, what is the budget and what's important to us, and like what's the vision of the wedding. Step two was a approximate guest list. It didn't have to be exact, but what's an approximate guest list? And then I took that guest list number and then went on to step three, which was to find a venue. We were I know that not everybody does it this way, but we didn't have a date before we searched for venues. We just had a season. I knew we had like, based on holidays, like Jewish holidays and American holidays and birthdays, we had like over the course of March, April, May, we had like 6 or 7 weekends that we were open to. And so we went to any venue that had at least one of those available. That's not true. Not any venue. We looked at a lot of venues online. We narrowed it down. We went to 8 in person. And then once we picked the venue, then whatever their availability was, we picked the best date that we liked from their availability. Of course, we ended up changing that date, so that didn't even matter. But that was like kind of the order we went that in. So I think if you're trying to do it too circularly, like I think you need to decide, like, is the venue more important? Is the date? What's non-negotiable? The type of venue, the date, or the head count, right? And knowing your non-negotiables will then help you narrow down those other things. If the venue is not available on that date and that date is non-negotiable, great, moving on. Like, that venue is not available. Don't even like get excited about it, because that's a non-negotiable. Like for us, it was the head count. We wanted a big wedding. That was very important to us. We wanted to not have to limit the number of people. So the high end head count availability was the most important thing. So I didn't look at any venues that had any options lower than that. Hopefully that's helpful. If you have any other specific questions, happy to answer. But that was kind of the process that we went through. I think not having the date picked really helped us. With everyone now having texting and doing a lot more coaching at the $20 level, are you worried that people won't sign up for individual coaching as much? Interesting question, Amberly. They're so different and they're at such different price points. The one-on-one coaching program is so in-depth. And it is, you get me on Zoom for 30 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day, 30 minutes a week, guys. My brain is not working today. 30 minutes a week. Like, it is so in depth, and we can talk about so much more via Zoom and like in person, but you know what I mean? As opposed to via texting, that if that is still something that is, if it is a goal that's really important to you and that fits within your budget, then like, I'm not concerned that you would like that it's going to be different, but to be totally honest. So. Still reading the same books. Yeah. I haven't really made much progress. I was just actually working before this started. I was working on a list. If y'all remember back in December, when I was feeling really overwhelmed about all the things that I needed to or wanted to get done by the time that the holidays rolled around, I'm definitely feeling that same amount of pressure with the move. And so I started the same list of like things I want to get to before we move. And like, reading is not on that list. So I'm not even worrying about it. Just signed up for Teachable. How do we search for you on there? It's just showing my school. You have to click my specific Teachable link. I don't know if there's a search. There probably is a search feature. I should probably know that. But my link is in the description of this video. And if you click on that, you'll be able to sign up for like my specific thing, and then log in with the account that you've already created. Amberly, absolutely. Just asking because so many people are afraid to switch business models. It could change who signs up for the bigger and better products. Absolutely. To me, it's not really a change of a business model so much as a streamlining. It's very similar to Patreon. It's the same concept, except we're just simplifying it and we're having one level, and I'm moving platforms. The irony is, originally I was just going to do the one tier thing now and was going to do the platform move at a later date. But because of how Patreon works, again, Patreon frustrates me so much. That's why we're leaving. Everybody, in order to streamline to one tier, everybody was going to have to do something. I couldn't just change the price, which I get the reasoning behind that, but like, there was just so many hoops we were going to have to jump through to create a one tier option on Patreon, that I was like, well, if I'm going to go through those hoops anyway, I might as well also move to the other platform I want to move to. So that is why we're doing it all at the same time. But in my mind, it's not so much a switch of the business model so much as a streamlining of a piece of my business that already exists. River J, I'm going to come back to your question in a second. Talking about wedding stuff. We had a season in mind, but not an exact date. For us, budget was a huge factor, and then had to have a particular look. Definitely helpful. We are quite limited on dates, teacher problems. So I feel like that needs to be. Yeah. And I don't know when you say, like, if you have the whole summer available, that's a lot of availability. And again, just figuring out, but maybe like, if you're willing to cut the guest list, if you find a venue that you really like, then dates are a non-negotiable, but maybe limit is not important. So just like something to keep in mind. Because I don't know about where you, like, Shani, I know you already booked yours, but Loretta, I don't know about, over there if it is the same, but I had hundreds of venues to look at in, like, outside of Austin, in Austin and outside of Austin. There were so many that I had to have limits. Like, there had to be limits. So it was like, I think I first did the capacity. And then it was like, then I started to go through price, and then I went through vibe, because I wasn't going to just look at all of them. There were just so many. But it sounds like you're almost having the opposite issue, that you don't have enough venue options. Yes, the link for Teachable is already available. It's in the description of this video, also in the goals video. Yeah, I didn't send the link to Patreon members because you don't need it till March 1st. you don't, because otherwise you're going to double pay for February. So you, as a current member, you don't need the link until March 1st. So, okay, I'm going to go back up to this question. River J, always with the very thoughtful questions that always make me think. Who do you look up to and why? And I feel like I said this, like I have a memory of talking about this in a video. I don't know if it was a live or I don't know if it was like a generic, when I did just regular Q&As before the lives. It's definitely my mom. My mom had, and I'm not going to go through all the details because it's her life and her story and not mine, but my mom is, had a rough upbringing. She did not grow up in the same lifestyle that she raised her kids in. She had a very rough upbringing and put herself through college and then got pregnant during college and still managed to finish college, even though I was 3 years old. Like, she powered through. She had to take semesters off and she worked full time to pay for school, and then, got a great job and worked her way up. And just, did not think I was going to get that emotional talking about it, but she just, like, knowing where she came from to where she is now and what she's been able to provide for her kids that wasn't provided for her is just amazing. And it just, yes, that's who I look up to. And I'm very excited to live in 3 weeks, to live much closer to her. So, okay, I'm going to stop crying now. Linda, are you still planning to do a video on Mondays and the Wednesday live? Will the Monday video still show your goal progress? Yeah. Nothing about YouTube is changing because of the Patreon change. So there will still be a video on Mondays, a sprinkling of Plan With Me's, vlogs, my goal setting video, which is the one that went up on Monday. The monthly goal setting videos will be just my personal goals. And then on the quarterly ones, I'm also going to update you on my business goals. And then the lives will still be on Wednesdays. None of that is changing. Yeah, that's still the plan. So exciting. Hopefully after, like, once we get settled with, there was video on Fridays and now there's not, and then this Patreon change, then that's like, hopefully we'll be settled in terms of changes for this year. And then it will just be some new stuff, some revamps, etc. That's what's coming down the pipeline. Exciting stuff. Not that this is not exciting. I'm very excited about it, but it is a lot of, like, growing pains with some of these other things that have happened so far this year. And so we're getting that stuff out of the way in Q1, and then we're going to just enjoy the new stuff and exciting stuff for Q2, 3, and then probably nothing in Q4. Man, I am really going to go all in on this, like, relax in Q4 mindset. And I know I talked about it a little bit in my, like, one of my goals videos. I think it was the December wrap-up video that, like, next December, I wanted to have no goals in December. I almost want to have no goals in, like, Q4. I want Q4 to maybe just be, like, enjoy the holidays, prepare for the new year. We'll see. We'll see I guess they'll see, like, my overarching annual goals for this year, where I'm at, and, like, if I feel like I need any of those in Q4, but that's where I'm leaning right now. And same thing with the business. Like, with the business, like, kind of just relaxing. Moving your work house along with your personal house. Oh my gosh, Jennifer, yes. And I was talking to a business coach that I work with, and I was like, man, am I really moving on March 1st? Like, I'm literally moving both things on the same date. Like, was that the best idea? And there's a lot of reasons that went into the date decision. One of the big ones being the planner. Like, originally we were going to do the move on April 1st, but I wanted to gift you the planner to say thank you. And so I was like, well, I guess we're doing it March 1st, and it's just going to be a lot. But I think again, I feel, we've talked about this before, and I know a lot of you can relate, that I get a lot more done earlier in the week, right? Mondays and Tuesdays for me are a lot more like effective. And by the time we get to the end of this live, my week is on, like, the massive down slope. And I kind of am going to operate my year in the same way, almost. Like, I want to get a lot done in Q1. Some of it was out of my control, the move, but, like, the physical move, the virtual business move, some other business stuff and like get a lot out in Q1 and Q2. And then, there will be at least one new thing in Q3 and then kind of like a little bit just kind of coast is kind of what I'm thinking. Ooh, River J, what do you love doing so much currently that you lose track of time? Well, now the dance is over. Right now, I guess right currently is all the like dinner and drink dates that I'm having with friends. Like we ate out what felt like every meal last weekend because we were just literally like with one couple on Friday night, another couple during the day on Saturday, another friend on Saturday night, a brunch on Sunday. Like it's just like so many last minute, like I want to hang out with you in person before you move. And the time just flies. Like it just absolutely flies by. So currently that's probably it because all of the other things I'm doing besides that is packing and working. So I don't usually lose track of time doing those two things. Guys, I cannot wait to be done packing and then unpacking. I hate packing and unpacking. And I briefly contemplated having like paying someone to pack us, but I didn't want to declutter in this move. But I think in the future, when we move, I was about to say if, but like I'm not gonna like live the rest of my life in this 4-bedroom apartment that we're renting. When we move, I will pay someone to pack. I want to save up to pay someone to pack because I don't like it. Amanda, like you, by the end of the week, I'm so tired. And someone suggested that I'm doing too much on Monday and Tuesday. Do you think that's it? Yes, but also if that works better, then it works better. So I think it depends. If there's stuff that you have to do on a Thursday or a Friday, and like knowing you and knowing your business, that's not necessarily the case, then I don't necessarily think it's the end of the world to do a lot on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then do a less on Thursday, Friday. If you're getting the same amount of work done, as opposed, and you can think about it in hours, you can think about it in tasks, but like I realized that if I schedule out the same amount of hours that I'm going to work, and if I evenly break them up through Monday through Friday, I am still less productive on Thursdays and Fridays, regardless. Whereas if I put more on Monday and Tuesday, and then I get those things done because I have that energy and that on Monday and Tuesday, then I don't feel as bad when I do even less on Thursdays and Fridays. So like, I don't think there's any right way. I think if you are, depending on your job and your business or your day job, you have to do things on Thursdays and Fridays, then yes, you may need to consider scaling back on earlier days in the week so that you're saving energy for Thursdays and Fridays. But if you don't have to do that, then don't. Like work with your energy, really, I guess is what I'm getting at. Packing is the worst. I'm glad I'm not alone on that. Paying for packers is worth it when it's right for the move you're making. I totally get purging in this move though. Yeah. I think because we're moving across the country, I'm like, I need to be really thoughtful about what's going in the box and what's being thrown out or what's being donated. But if I stay on top of our space in our new place, then hopefully the next move, like we could just pay someone to pack us. When I moved from my last home, I babysat for my friend and she traded places and helped me pack the house with my mom. Could you try that? Yeah, I don't even know if it's like help that I need because like again, I'm decluttering as I go. So I need to be the one doing it. I can't like in our last move, which again, I don't know if I know I've shared this in some Patreon things. I don't know if I've ever even shared this, but we actually got COVID right before our last move. So it was supposed to be a really pleasant, decluttering, enjoyable packing experience turned into my dad flying up because he also had it enough that he had antibodies and he flew up and we literally just like packed everything as quickly as we possibly could before the movers came. So we didn't have to reschedule the move. And then my dad actually helped us unpack too. So like I didn't get a chance to declutter last time because somebody else was helping. And so I don't know that will work. My mom is in town next week though, because my stepfather has a business meeting here and I'm hoping to rope her into helping me pack at least my office. So spoiler alert, next week's live should be fine. The next live, if this shelf is empty, it might be empty. Just warning you. I paid someone to pack last time I moved and it really didn't cost much. The moving was 400 pounds and the packing was 200. They did most of it in one day. I would have taken weeks. Well, the fact that your move was 400 pounds makes me think that it's very different. And even moving within New York, I mean, I paid triple that, depending on the exchange rate, of course, but using the approximate 1-to-1 that it's ish right now, it was like 3 times that much. Obviously, the Chicago move is more because it's further, but like even within the city. Having moved many times, I can tell you, having them not only pack but unpack gets done so fast. They don't put away, so you literally move into every main room in a day. Linda, that's amazing. I think unpacking, I'm not as excited, but I'm also kind of excited about. I'm not as dreading it as much as the packing. On a similar line, I've been out sick this week, so far, going back into work tomorrow, worrying about easing back into it and not overdoing it. Yeah, Jennifer. So what I would recommend is having like a minimum that you're going to try to do and then have a maximum. And like whatever, when you hit that, like you're done. And then also like take breaks, hydrate. Yeah, it is tough to like not jump back into it. It's helpful that you mentioned your mom is helping you unpack at the new place. Yeah, I am excited. Especially because she just unpacked and settled into her own place. So I'm hoping that she has some like good thoughts and suggestions on like where to put things. And because especially living in New York, I've never had options about where things go. Sorry. I've like things just have to live where they live. Like in a New York sized apartment, very few options about where things go. I was just thinking that today when I was looking at the silverware drawer. That literally crossed my brain today. I was like, this was the only option. There is only one drawer in our entire apartment that could have been the silverware drawer. That's not the case in our new place. And like, I'm just excited to have options, but hope that my mom helps me figure that out. I like unpacking more, but all this discussion is reminding me that I have to do this again in a couple of months. Yeah. Yeah. But hopefully get to settle a little bit more this time. And by hopefully, I mean, I know you do. At least it's not just for a year. If you got someone to pack for you, unpacking is like Christmas. Wait, I still have this. That's hilarious. My kitchen unpacking suggestions. Think about the movement you have to do to unload a dishwasher. We do have one. You want the things you put in the dishwasher in the cabinets near the dishwasher. Ooh, that's good advice. It's not my chore, but it is good advice. Sam will appreciate that if we unpack the things for the dishwasher near the dishwasher. That's good. It's a good tip. There is a dishwasher. I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, you saw me post about this. But my mom made a joke when we were looking at Chicago apartments talking about adult size appliances, because in New York, all of our appliances are smaller. Like I have cookie sheets that don't fit in my oven. Our dishwasher is mini sized. Our fridge is a mini sized fridge. Like every apartment I've ever had in New York, I have miniature, even our microwave is smaller than like a regular microwave. And so Sam and I were talking about the fact that the dishwasher is an adult sized, it's a regular sized dishwasher, and it's going to hold so much more. I mean, we run our dishwasher almost every day because for 2 people who both work from home, and if we eat all 3 meals at home, and then depending on what dishes I use to cook dinner, like we fill up the dishwasher. It's insane. It's so small. And that won't be the case in our new place. I never want to move again. It's been 3 years and I'm having flashbacks. I know. I feel like I say that every time I move. I'm like, I never want to do this again. But I also know it's not the last time. And I've known that every time. Amy, I found out my company is closing on February 3rd. Oh my goodness. New goal to find a job. I have a second interview for one place today, so looking for good vibes. Oh my gosh, sending you all the good vibes. That was like a really quick turnaround. Wait, February 3rd? You mean March 3rd? February 3rd already happened. But still, wow. One other piece of advice for the bathrooms, kitchen, and office. Mark Labor Day, 6 months there to reorganize. Live with where you unpack things so you really understand how you want things. Ooh, that's a good tip. That's good advice. Amanda, so back to Teachable. If we're already in Patreon, should we wait until after the goal setting session? Correct. And I mean, really, you can wait till March 1st because there's nothing that's going to come between now and then. But yeah, so yeah. Oh, you found out on 2-3. Again, my brain, y'all, not functioning. Not having a timeline for a move is what's making it hard for me to pack. Will it be next month? 3-6. How to pack when you have no real timeline, just know it's happening. That is really tough. Honestly, I don't know that you can, because you don't want to risk packing something that then you are going to have to unpack. So I would do anything else you can do. If you can declutter, if you are planning to declutter, because I do realize that those are two different things, right? Decluttering and packing are two different steps. Like just the other day, you guys laugh, and by the other day, I mean yesterday. There's a massive pile of shoes in the living room right now that I decluttered from the shoe cabinet thing in the hallway, but I didn't pack them, which if I just had a box sitting right there, I could have thrown them in, but I didn't. And so decluttering and packing are two different steps, and I'm trying to do them all at the same, and you could totally do them separately. You can, anything else related to your move that you can start figuring out, but I really don't think you can start packing. And unless there's something for sure, like the holiday stuff, if you have holiday stuff, you could pack that. The other option that somebody did suggest to me that we are utilizing a little bit in our living room is not actually closing up the box. So we just, again, in an attempt to make small steps, if you ever watched the corner of my living room that has like the workout section, right? We have this little shelf that had like the yoga blocks and a basket with our Peloton shoes in it. And then on top, it had a basket with the yoga mats and the foam roller. And I knew we weren't taking the basket or the shelf with us. So what I did was I built a box and I put all the workout stuff in the box. So the yoga mats, the foam roller, the Peloton shoes, all that stuff. I didn't close the box in case one of us does want to work out and use those products is a weird word, but use those items before we move. But then I was able to get rid of the basket and the shelf, and it like cleared up space. It like was one less thing that I have to do, but like I didn't close up that box because we are still using that stuff. But again, I'm okay living surrounded by boxes because I have 3 more weeks. I don't know if that's comfortable for you. Oh my gosh, River J, you are so, so sweet. Coffee for packing, and thank you for all the contribution and light you give to helping us and others create a better life. I appreciate y'all so much. That is so, so sweet. There's not enough coffee in the world. There's a lot. I think where we've ended up at this point, I'm trying to do little things here and there, but it's just going to probably be one massive amount of packing that last Saturday and Sunday. We have social plans that Friday night, but I'm trying not to make any plans Saturday or Sunday, with the exception of telling people if they want to swing by and say hi, and like help us pack a box or just say hi and give us a hug. Like we'll be home all day Saturday and Sunday. I've told people that, but we're not like, I don't want to make plans to leave the house, because then when the movers show up at 9 a.m. on Monday, I want to be ready to go. My son is 18 and having the hardest time finding a job. He's taking the year off from college and can't find anything. He's even applied to local McDonald's, Sonic, and they aren't hiring. Holy moly. That is really frustrating. I mean, I know he is living in a small town, so that probably doesn't help, right? His options are probably slightly limited. Wow. I would maybe start asking people in the community, like if they know of any other listings or any options for like an 18-year-old. I don't have any good options, but maybe somebody else has a suggestion. What about chores for neighbors, lawn, and weed control? That's a good idea. Yeah, like maybe cleaning. I don't know how good your 18-year-old son would be at house cleaning, but that's an option. Christine, thanks for including your name. You have a QR code sticker for each box, and you've been adding what's in it into the list on an app. That's amazing. Wow, that is serious. I've just been writing it on the box itself and numbering them. That's amazing. I'm decluttering and also putting things that haven't been used in over 6 months, but know I want to keep. Yeah, that's also a good methodology. My mother has had a few contacts, but none of them seem to be working out. I'll ask him about chores. He's horrible at cleaning. Yeah, cleaning might not be the answer. Yard work is probably a decent option. Man, I don't know. That is so frustrating. Local gyms, high school tutoring, options. Yeah, I mean, for an 18-year-old boy, he could work for Cutco Knives. If you haven't watched my goals video on from Monday, I talked about the fact that I used to sell Cutco Knives, y'all, which just random fun fact about me. And the product is amazing. Oh, maybe tutoring is a good option. He could do that, and he thinks he wants to be a teacher, so that would be nice. Yeah, that might be a great option. If they have, I don't know what kind of teacher he's leaning towards, or if he is, but I worked at, or if they have this there, there's a company called Mathnasium, and it's a local, so like it's a tutoring center just focused on math, and they have students of all ages, and it was awesome. I worked there in college, and it was a fantastic experience. I know you're in a small town, so I don't know if they have a Mathnasium there, but like I loved it. Loved it. Oh yeah, dogs or animals. One of my brothers did that. Amy, I know you're excited to live by some of your family again. So happy for you. What are other things you're excited about for living in Chicago? That's a good question, because most people will ask what like my number one thing or my favorite thing, which is always the easy answer, is my family. We're really excited about more space. I mean, our new apartment is like 3.5 times the size of this place. So that is just going to be amazing. I'm not excited to work on a cleaning routine to clean 3 bathrooms. Because again, I mentioned this somewhere, that our current cleaning routine is there's people coming over and we need to clean the bathroom. But that is going to be a future goal later this year. But so to have more space, just kind of a lower cost of living, and not necessarily a different lifestyle, because I don't know that it will be that much different. I mean, we're not going to have a car, and we're going to walk to all the things, but even like going grocery shopping, I mentioned this on one of the lives, like my mom will pick me up in her car and take me to the grocery store for like big shopping trips. And like, that will be really nice. And I think, I don't know if it's a specific thing, but I know I've said this before, just the feeling of being settled. Like, yes, I know it's temporary, because I know I'm not going to like raise my entire family in a 4-bedroom apartment. I mean, not that I couldn't, but it's renting, and we're not buying that. I'm not going to rent a 4-bedroom apartment for the rest of my life. That's a better phrase. And so we're not, but we're still getting a lot more settled, and just that feeling of feeling settled. I think we're both really looking forward to that. So just kind of a change of pace and change of scenery, I guess, really. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I'm looking forward to. No city tax. Silly New York. Their silly city tax. Nicole, I'm so late to the party. I've been meetings all day, but I wanted to say hi. Hello. Thanks for saying hi. I appreciate you. Wow, it's already 1:53. Holy moly. Any other questions? Anything else on your mind? I know we've talked a lot about me and my move, are both my physical move and then our Patreon move. But we do this every week, so you can always come back with more questions. If you're watching the replay and you have a question, you can always leave it in the comments, and I will answer it next week. But yeah. Anything else? Any other questions? We're gonna need some updates on your son's job next week, Amanda, and see if he's made any progress on it. All right. If there's no other questions, you can drop them in if you have any last minute ones. But I'm going to go ahead and ask you my last question, which is, what is one small thing you're going to do this week to make progress on your goals? It doesn't have to be huge. Small progress is still progress, because keeping that momentum, especially during February is tough, y'all. We don't have the umph that we had in January, and it's cold and it's still kind of dark. I mean, it's getting better, but it's still kind of dark. So what is one small step? Yes, Jennifer, for the Q&A on Saturday, asking for questions up front, that link will come in your email tomorrow. Work out 2 times. Keeping up the no soda. That's so exciting. Grounding practice daily. I love that. You and all of you and your amazing daily goals. Asking my sister-in-law if she will help coordinate our gender reveal. Congrats. So exciting. Forgive yourself. Lainey, sending you a hug. Tracking my food. Making a list of all the workout related things I want to work on and all the activity I already do. I love that, Jamie. Applied to jobs and getting a lot done for the sticker biz while I can, for sure. Rescheduling goals I didn't accomplish because you were healing and getting better. Life happens. Declutter some shelves in my wardrobe. Trying to get 50 zone minutes a day movement since it helps your sleep. That's amazing. 50 minutes. I do feel like that is very true, though, about working out helping your sleep. Decide what you want to plant in your garden. Oh, I love that. I always say one day I'd love to have a garden, but sticking with your scaled back AM and PM routine. I feel that too, Linda. I scaled both of mine back as well to make some time and space for other things. And it's sticking to them. It doesn't take a lot, but keeping the small steps, and they will add up over time. I promise. Organizing your kitchen dining room. That's a great step. I love hearing about all of your steps and all of your different goals. I love just the variety. Always just makes my heart so happy. So thank you all for hanging out with me today. If you wouldn't mind giving this video a thumbs up before you head out, I would greatly appreciate that. And if you're new here, please click that subscribe button. I do upload new videos every week focused on helping you achieve your goals. Couple last minute steps. Hire a painter for your guest room. Ooh, that's exciting, Michelle. Declutter and pack a tote. And enjoy the quiet time. Monique, I love that. All right. Thanks for hanging out with me today, y'all. Have a great rest of your day.